Hold one hand out in front of you, right now. Look at it closely. See that tiny, almost invisible movement? That faint shimmer? Don't worry, that's completely normal. Every single human being has it. It's called a physiological tremor, and you've had it your whole life. But here's what most people never learn. The way your hands move, and far more importantly when they move, can quietly tell you something worth knowing about your body. And there's a simple 30-second test you can do tonight, sitting in your own chair, to learn how to read it. Now, let me be clear about something up front, because I never want to scare you. This test does not diagnose anything. Most hand tremors are completely harmless. But learning this one simple skill could help you notice a change early and, if it ever matters, help your doctor help you faster. Stay with me, because the part most people get wrong is which position you check your hands in. Get that wrong, and you learn nothing. Get it right, and you learn a lot. Welcome back. Before we do anything, I want to take the anxiety out of this topic completely, because the word tremor makes people's minds jump straight to the worst possible place. So let's set the record straight. A little shaking in your hands is one of the most common things in the world, and the overwhelming majority of the time, it means nothing serious at all. Had a strong cup of coffee? Your hands might shake a little. That's caffeine. Feeling stressed, anxious, or startled? Shaking. Tired or short on sleep? Shaking. Skipped a meal and your blood sugar dipped? Shaking. Even some common medications list a mild tremor as a side effect. All of these are temporary, harmless, and go away on their own. So if you've noticed a little trembling here and there, please don't spiral. In most cases, it's just life. The goal of this video is not to frighten you into thinking something is wrong. It's the opposite. To give you calm, clear knowledge so you can tell the difference between totally normal and worth mentioning to my doctor. Knowledge lowers fear. It doesn't raise it. With that settled, let's learn the test. Here's the single most important idea in this entire video, and it's the thing most people get wrong. When it comes to hand tremors, the question that matters most is not whether your hand shakes, it's when it shakes. Does it shake when your hand is completely relaxed and resting, doing nothing at all? Or does it shake when you're using it? Reaching, holding, writing. Those are two very different situations, and to doctors, they point in very different directions. A tremor that shows up at rest is a different story from a tremor that shows up with action, and you cannot tell which one you have unless you deliberately check your hands in both positions. That's the secret the 30-second test is built around. 2 positions, 15 seconds each. Let me walk you through it. Find a comfortable chair and let's do this together. You'll need nothing but your own 2 hands. If you'd like, grab a single sheet of paper. I'll tell you why in a moment. Part 1, the rest position. About 15 seconds. Sit back. Rest both hands, palms down, on your thighs, or let them hang loosely at your sides. The key word is relaxed. Your hands should be completely supported and doing absolutely nothing. No holding, no tensing. Just let them rest. Now watch them. For 15 seconds, simply observe. Are they still? Or do you notice a rhythmic shaking while they're just sitting there, at rest? Some people notice a small back and forth motion in the fingers or thumb. Others notice nothing at all. Just take note of what you see. Part 2, the action position. About 15 seconds. Now, slowly raise both arms and hold them straight out in front of you, at shoulder height, palms facing down. Fingers spread. Hold them there, steady, for 15 seconds. This is where that sheet of paper helps. Lay it flat across the backs of your outstretched hands. Paper is light and sensitive, so even a small tremor will make its edges flutter, showing you movement your eye might otherwise miss. Watch your hands in this held-out position. Do they stay steady, or do they begin to shake now when they're working against gravity? That's it. That's the whole test. Rest, then action. 15 seconds each. Now let's make sense of what you saw. Let's go through the possibilities, and I'll keep being honest with you at every step. And remember, you're observing, not diagnosing. Only a doctor can do that. Possibility 1. Your hands were steady in both positions. Wonderful. That's a reassuring result and exactly what most people find. Carry on. Possibility 2. Your hands were steady at rest, but shook when you held them out or used them. This is called an action tremor, shaking that appears with movement or when holding a position. And here's the reassuring part. The The most common cause of this by far is a condition called essential tremor. Now that name sounds scary, but essential tremor is generally considered benign. It is not Parkinson's, and it is actually far more common. Around 10 million Americans have it. It often runs in families, tends to affect both hands, and can sometimes involve a little shakiness in the head or voice. For many people, it stays mild for years. It's the kind of thing absolutely worth mentioning to your doctor, but not the kind of thing to lie awake over. Possibility 3. Your hands were shaking at rest, while relaxed and doing nothing, and settled when you moved them. This pattern, a rest tremor, is one your doctor would want to know about, particularly if it's mainly on one side of your body or shows up alongside other changes I'll describe next. I'm not going to put a label on it because a tremor alone doesn't tell the whole story, and many things can cause it. What I'll say is simple. This is the pattern most worth having a professional look at, not with panic, just with a phone call to make an appointment. The point of all this isn't to slot yourself into a category. It's to notice your pattern clearly so that when you sit down with a doctor, you can describe it precisely. And a precise description is one of the most valuable things you can bring to that visit. A tremor is never the whole picture. So while you're paying attention, here are a few other things worth quietly noting. Again, not to diagnose yourself, but to give your doctor a complete story. One side or both. Notice whether the shaking is roughly equal in both hands or clearly worse on one side. Both patterns are simply information. Is anything else different? This is important. On its own, a mild tremor is usually not a big concern. What doctors pay closer attention to is a tremor that arrives together with other changes, like a new stiffness in your movements, a general slowing down, changes in your handwriting getting smaller, a shuffle in your walk, or problems with balance. If you notice a tremor plus some of these together, that's a stronger reason to get evaluated sooner rather than later. What makes it better or worse? Notice your triggers. Does it flare with caffeine, stress, or tiredness? Does a good night's sleep calm it down? These details genuinely help a doctor understand what they're looking at. Here's a tip that movement specialists actually recommend. Keep a short tremor diary, just a few notes on your phone. When it happens, what you were doing, what makes it worse. Bring that to your appointment. It can make the whole visit far more useful. So let's be clear and practical about when to pick up the phone. None of this is cause for panic. It's just good sense. Make an appointment to get a tremor checked if it's new and you're not sure why. If it's clearly getting worse over time. If it's starting to interfere with everyday things like eating, writing, dressing, or holding a cup. If it's mainly on one side. Or if it shows up along with other changes like stiffness, slowness, or balance trouble. A tremor is almost never an emergency, but there are rare exceptions worth knowing. Sudden, severe shaking that comes on out of nowhere, especially with symptoms like confusion, weakness on one side, difficulty speaking, or a high fever. That combination needs urgent medical care right away. For everything else, the message is calm and simple. You don't need to diagnose yourself, and you shouldn't try. You just need to notice, and then let a professional take it from there. That's the healthiest possible approach. Let's finish with what's in your hands. Literally. While only a doctor can evaluate a tremor, there are gentle, everyday habits that support steadier hands for almost anyone. Start with the easy triggers. If your hands get shaky, take an honest look at your caffeine. Cutting back on coffee, tea, and energy drinks is one of the simplest things that can calm a mild tremor. Next, protect your sleep. Being run down makes almost any tremor more visible. And work on your stress because tension and anxiety amplify shaking. Slow breathing, gentle walks, and calming routines genuinely help. Review your medications with your doctor or pharmacist too. Sometimes a tremor is a side effect that can be adjusted. Stay hydrated and don't skip meals, since low blood sugar can set off the shakes. And keep your body active and your hands busy. Gentle movement and fine motor activities help you stay capable and confident. None of these replace a proper evaluation when one is needed, but they're a solid, calming foundation. And for a lot of everyday shakiness, they're all it takes. So here's what you're walking away with. A 30-second skill, rest, then action, that turns a vague worry into clear, useful information. The knowledge that most tremors are harmless. The wisdom to notice the patterns that deserve a closer look. And the calm confidence to bring all of it to someone who can actually help. Your hands do so much for you every single day. Paying a little gentle attention to them isn't about fear, it's about care, the same care you'd give anyone you love. If this helped you feel a little more informed and a little less afraid, share it with someone who could use that same peace of mind: a parent, a partner, a friend. And for more simple, science-backed ways to understand your body and stay healthy as you age, everything's waiting in the playlist. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.